Hey Megan, how are you?
I'm great. How are you today, Bentley?
I'm great. Thanks for joining us to talk to us and our clients about insurance. I know that's the topic we all want to hear about.
I appreciate it. It's a very exciting topic, and I think it is something good to at least have a brief understanding of.
Yeah. So let me explain to our a lot of our clients already know this, but the clients that wouldn't know this, kind of why we're talking about insurance today. We're talking about personal lines and business insurance and on the P&C side. So when we launched Navitor 2 years ago, one of the things we want to do is build a really good network of financial providers around our wealth management practice. And so we went down the path of identifying great partners on the alternative side, tax partners, legal partners as it relates specifically to estate planning. We've done the same on the life side, but one thing we never really had done in the past was address the personal lines insurance piece. And so we went through a process of interviewing firms and looking for the right fit that could ultimately work with the type families that we typically work with, and ultimately landed on Core. Now you work both at Core and AIK2, and for our clients, just to describe that, is really the service team that helps us access the Core insurance really for families that have accumulated significant wealth and have a little more complex insurance needs. So just real quickly, and I'm going to turn it over to you, Megan. A couple of the reasons we ended up with Core, one, they're privately owned, which really speaks to us. Most of our families, not all, but most sold or still own privately owned businesses. Core is one of, if not the largest, privately owned groups in the country. So there's enough scale there that we knew we could get what we needed for our clients, but at the same time still had that private feel to it. And then lastly, as I got to know founder David Salamine and become friends with him over the last couple of years, that entrepreneurial spirit that he has. I mean, he's been on several of our calls, and I keep reminding David, is like, you do not need to be on these calls. Like, you've got the right team in place. So, but I think all of that really speaks to me, and I think it would speak to our clients. So, with all that being said, Megan, kind of talk to us about some of the differences between small local firms, national firms, just kind of a flavor for that, and why you think, as I do, that Core and AIK2 is the right size.
Of course. So I have had the pleasure of kind of working at the suites of, from the local office to more of your national brand to now I'm part of the AIK2 team. And really what I feel the difference is the local's great. It's nice, especially when you're younger, starting off, to be able to go down, talk to that individual in person. However, they typically have very limited scope of what high net worth clients really need in terms of protection. Maybe they have homes, in different states. Maybe they travel outside the country a lot. So the local agent just unfortunately tends to get outgrown pretty quickly in your affluent space. Now the national brands, they're again nice big powerhouses. They have a lot of buying power when it comes to things, but specifically in P&C insurance, they're not super focused on your business owner specifically in being able to cater to their full suite of needs, not only their personal life, but their business, and being able to make sure that there's no gray areas. And that is something, and one reason I chose AIK2 as a landing place is I really appreciate everything they do and how they really take a holistic approach of the client and the firms they work with. So not only do we want to help protect the firms, we want to help protect their clients and their clients' businesses. So should anything happen, everything and all the planning everyone's done is all wrapped up into one. And again, that boutique feeling of knowing that Core has spent years and years building relationships with these carriers still allows us to get the same answers and same execution as one of those major houses.
So as I understand it, and I've experienced this a little bit on these larger firms, if you're not operating a sizable business, there's just not enough interest to really dig into the details and deliver the level of service and attention to the finer points of one's insurance needs.
Correct. And usually they're either really good at the commercial and then you don't get the full P&C needs of like claims application and understanding, or they're really good in the private client space, but then your business is left out hanging. So it's never a full picture.
We should probably have a whole nother section on, the business and P&C side. We'll maybe focus solely on the personal lines because everybody has to have that piece of it. Talk a little bit about how AIK2 and CORE thinks about, I hate using this term ultra high net worth. That's a term our space uses for our type clients, but families that have accumulated significant assets, what are they doing different or better than other providers?
Yeah, so what I would say the biggest differentiators, and you mentioned this, our leadership is of that same status. They understand what those clients look like. They understand those needs. We can go to bat and truly explain what it looks like to own an aircraft, what it looks like to have an au pair in your home, because they have it, we have it, and we understand it. And so really just being able to understand and be a part of those clients' lives allows us that leverage. And it's not just, a part of the team, it's the whole team that truly understands and kind of lives the same day-to-day life that these clients you work with live.
So another thing that we really liked about how CORE viewed this space is really more, I don't know that you're technically a fiduciary, but we are a fiduciary and have to apply that same standard in any service that we're providing for our clients. And one of the things I liked was that, very objective, kind of neutral approach. You maybe speak to that a little bit.
Of course, yeah. Our main goal is to protect the wealth you and your clients are building together, whether that's doing business with us on the P&C side or giving them the answers and the solutions they need to take back to their brother-in-law, whoever they may know that works in it. We really just want to give consumers the education that's not out there and give them the information they need to make the right decisions to protect their lives properly. And so that really is, I think, the biggest value add that we can give not only to you as an advisor, but to your clients, is just being there for them to answer questions in a very unbiased way. So
as we have just barely started rolling this out, we've had a few clients utilize the service. And to this point, I don't know, this will always be true, but every client we've taken through, we've either increased their coverage for the same cost or lowered their cost. And granted, in the grand scheme of things, everybody would rather pay less for their insurance than more. These aren't needle moving cost savings, but what I think clients are finding valuable and comforting is to have a really deep review to make sure that those coverages really are right. That's the exposure that some of our clients have that could change their lifestyle. And so maybe take us through a little bit how you think about those reviews, the information you gather in that process, and then maybe we end offering that again widely to our clients as as a next step. Yeah, I would love to. So really our process is simple. We have a 20-question lifestyle questionnaire. It's yes and no questions just to give us that 360 view of your life and what you do every day, and then copies of your current coverages. So your deck pages is what we call them in the industry, just lays out like what your home is insured for, what your vehicles are insured for, if you have collectibles. And so between the lifestyle questionnaire and your deck pages, we can start our lifestyle review and then provide a video back to you and your clients to watch our recommendations so they can digest it, understand it, and then come back to the table with the right questions and not feel like they're trying to retain a bunch of information all at one time. Yeah. So two comments there. One, that thing that I really like is that no one likes filling out questionnaires, but really without that information, simply looking at somebody's policies is only helping maybe get a better price of what they already have, and fails to really look at what maybe they've added or what other exposures that maybe you could tease out of that process. So I think that's important. And then having seen your video reviews of the review and the recommendations, that's a great service, because I'm not sure I'd be willing to sit through quite be able to really dig into all those details in a timely fashion. So that summaries is hugely helpful. So maybe so other than that questionnaire, other items that they might need to gather prior to requesting a review, any other things that they should be thinking about?
Yeah, so we'll need to know, driver's license dates, some personal information in order to go to market and, get the rates we need. But for the most part, like you mentioned, that lifestyle questionnaire is really what going to allow us to provide true recommendations around your life, whether that's tangible or intangible assets, and not just focus on what you currently have insured. We're really, again, trying to find those potential gaps.
So last question, from a timing perspective, do these reviews have to happen around the time that these, around renewal dates, or can you kind of start that process at any time?
Yeah, you can start the process at any time. Most insurance companies, especially on the personal line side, they refund you for any like overpaid premium or anything like that. So it really is imperative. If you ever think like, wow, I haven't looked at my insurance in a while, do this quick review. It will probably take you 20 minutes, 30 minutes to get the information together, but it will add significant peace of mind. And if anything, allow you to know what you have is good, or, hey, this needs to be a larger action item on my to-do list. And in all honesty, my personal life to-do list is stuff I don't like to add to, but it is something that we need to focus on, especially when you're building wealth and you have wealth to protect. The last thing you want to do is have something happen because you just didn't want to address it for 20 or 30 minutes.
Well, we have a lot of that client information, so that'll make it easy to roll this out. So let's stop there. Megan, you are awesome. I think we got this in under 10 minutes, just the right digestible amount. And I'm sure we'll have a number of clients that will be interested in at least doing this review and seeing what we can come up with.
I would love to help.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Have a great day.